Today's breaking development has sent shockwaves through the royal world and left Prince Andrew stunned, devastated, and facing a future more isolated than ever. After nearly 20 years of living together as the most famous divorced couple on the planet, Sarah Ferguson appears ready to walk away from her longtime post-marriage partnership with Andrew once and for all. Her decision, unexpected and deeply symbolic, has raised urgent questions among royal insiders and longtime observers. After years of standing by Andrew through scandal, controversy, and the total collapse of his public standing, why has the Duchess of York suddenly chosen a different path? What could have pushed a woman known for unwavering loyalty to finally step back? The answers, according to sources and royal commentators, are far more unsettling than anyone imagined, and the implications for Andrew's future are enormous. Stay tuned, because what we're uncovering today reshapes everything you thought you knew about this once unbreakable bond. And make sure you're subscribed to Royals Explored, because this story is only getting started. For nearly 17 years, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Sarah Ferguson managed to defy every expectation of what a divorced couple should look like. Since 2008, they shared Royal Lodge, a sprawling, 30-room estate on the Windsor grounds, where they raised their daughters, supported each other through personal challenges and health scares, and presented a surprisingly united front to the world. Sarah, now 66, remained one of Andrew's most outspoken defenders even when his public reputation crumbled almost beyond repair. And despite their romantic relationship ending long ago, their domestic partnership became a symbol of modern blended family life, proof, it seemed, that closeness could survive the end of marriage. But that chapter is closing in a dramatic way no one anticipated. Everything began to shift when King Charles delivered the decision that effectively rewrote Andrew's life. After Andrew was stripped of his royal titles and military roles because of his long-criticized association with Jeffrey Epstein and the serious allegations made against him, claims Andrew continues to deny, Charles informed him that he would also have to leave Royal Lodge. The order was not symbolic. It was final. Andrew was told he would be relocated to a far smaller home on the Sandringham estate, signaling a decisive dismantling of his once privileged existence. Preparations for the move are reportedly already underway, and the timeline grows shorter by the day. But then came the announcement no one saw coming. Sarah Ferguson revealed she would not accompany Andrew to Sandringham. Instead, she would make her own living arrangements, bringing a firm end to their 17-year cohabitation and leaving Andrew to enter his new life of isolation alone. Royal insiders described the news as a seismic shift, one that sent analysts scrambling to understand what had changed behind the scenes. Sarah stood by Andrew through his widely criticized Newsnight interview, his civil settlement with Virginia Giuffre, and the near-total destruction of his public standing. So why leave now? Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond offered two theories that immediately fueled intense public debate. First, she suggested that Sarah may no longer fully believe Andrew's long-maintained denials about the allegations against him. The alternative, she said, is that Andrew himself may prefer solitude as he faces permanent exile from public life. Either explanation paints a deeply troubling picture of life inside Royal Lodge in these final months before the move. To understand the emotional weight behind Sarah's timing, consider what Andrew is still up against. He continues to face allegations, denied by him, that he had sexual encounters with Virginia Giuffre when she was 17, claims that have lingered in the public consciousness for years. New documents connected to Epstein's estate have surfaced in recent months, raising further questions and contradicting elements of Andrew's past public statements. Sarah spent years defending Andrew against these allegations, insisting that he was a fundamentally good man who made questionable choices in friendships but had committed no wrongdoing. Her loyalty cost her in public perception, as she often became associated with Andrew's scandals just by proximity. But now, observers wonder whether she has learned something that made her reassess her position. Could her departure signal that she can no longer, in good conscience, stand as Andrew's last unwavering supporter? If so, the message to the world is monumental. If the one person closest to him has stepped away, the public will naturally ask what changed, and why now. The second theory suggests something different. Perhaps Andrew, facing the fallout of years of scandal and retreating from public life entirely, prefers solitude at Sandringham. Removed from royal duties, social events, and many former friends, he may feel the weight of everything that has transpired and has chosen isolation over the pressures of maintaining even a semblance of normal daily life. If this interpretation is true, Sarah's departure may not be a rejection but rather the natural end of their unusual living arrangement, a quiet agreement that Andrew must now walk this next chapter alone. Meanwhile, Sarah's potential new path looks dramatically different from Andrew's increasingly narrowed future. Reports suggest she may relocate to Portugal, where her daughter Princess Eugenie and Eugenie's husband Jack Brooksbank own a luxurious £3.6 million home in the Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club Resort. The region, sunlit and idyllic, offers Sarah a peaceful environment far from the controversies circling Andrew. The setup also allows her to spend more time with her daughter and grandchildren while building a new chapter in a country untouched by the shadows hanging over her ex-husband. Compared to Andrew's future, a smaller, quieter home at Sandringham, no return to public duties, and a life lived largely out of sight, the contrast is striking. Sarah's sunny reset and Andrew's isolating reality symbolize the final chapter of their long partnership and the divergent futures now awaiting them. Public reaction to the news has been swift and sharp. Many viewers and social media users have interpreted Sarah's decision as confirmation that Andrew's situation has become unsustainable. Others believe Sarah simply deserves to reclaim her independence after nearly 2 decades of standing in the storm with him. Only a small minority have expressed sympathy for Andrew, underscoring how severely damaged his public image has become. As Andrew faces this new stage, the emotional impact is likely to be enormous. In recent years, he has lost nearly everything: his titles, his patronages, his reputation, his home, and now the daily companionship of the one person who consistently defended him. With Sarah's departure, his isolation will become deeper than ever before. Royal experts are already questioning how Andrew will handle the emotional consequences of this separation. Will he withdraw completely from public view? Will solitude force him to confront the realities he has spent years avoiding? Or will this mark the moment where he attempts some form of personal reckoning? Sarah's decision to move on represents a major shift, not just for Andrew personally, but for the royal family as a whole. With her exit, one of the last stabilizing forces in Andrew's life disappears, making his exile even more absolute. What do you think motivated Sarah Ferguson to finally take this step after 17 years of standing at Andrew's side? Has she simply chosen her own happiness at last? Or does her departure signal a deeper loss of trust or faith? And what does this mean for Andrew's future? Will he cope with life alone, or is this the moment that pushes him into complete retreat? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of every twist in this unfolding royal saga, make sure you hit subscribe and tap the notification bell. There is much more to come, and you won't want to miss the next major update. We'll see you in the next video with more breaking royal news you absolutely cannot afford to miss.